What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the PHDJ podcast with your hosts, Joe Bunn and my man, Mike Walter.
What's going on, Joe? How you doing?
Good, man. So
this one lands the week we're in Arizona, right?
Right. We are in Arizona. Well, technically, Mike is at his house. I'm in the office. We're recording at night, but we are in Arizona as this airs, or leaving Arizona.
Yeah. I booked a later flight on that Thursday.
I think I did too.
On the day.
Just kicking at the pool.
Probably, but Miles, Miles Gilbert.
Yeah,
he lives in he lives very close to there, so he and I are going to probably have lunch that day. And
nice. Okay.
Yeah. But by the way, I also want to mention, we mentioned on the podcast a few weeks ago that you and I are going to see David Lee Roth while we're in Las Vegas.
Oh, somebody emailed me about this.
Jonathan Klein reached out to me and
somebody else.
He wanted to verify the show that we were going to, which is the Wednesday show, and general admission. And I said yes, and he said mostly likely going to join you guys. And I'm such a cheeseball. Can you guess what I replied?
I'm trying to think of a Van Halen song. Panama's the only thing that comes to my head.
Might as well jump. Come on. That's
too easy. Too easy. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Walter, he's here all week. I love it.
So anyone else, if you want to join us, Joe and I will be in the general admission standing room section and partying. So
have you ever seen Van Halen? Sidebar.
I never did. I never saw David Lee solo or Van Halen.
I did. Recent history.
I can't count this as Van Halen, certainly.
Right. No, I did. Unfortunately, it was Eddie's son was the bass player, so it wasn't true Van Halen. Right. It wasn't Michael Anthony, but I would say
nowadays, man, if you see one or two original,
that's what I think.
I think
it counts.
There are so few like U2s where everyone still
is still the guy.
It's very
Does
rare.
Journey count with the Filipino guy?
Absolutely not. Yes, it counts for seeing them, but that's not. I mean, it's unless you saw
Steve Perry
back in the day with Steve Perry, you didn't see the true Journey.
Correct. Okay.
And I mean, you could say the same thing. Rolling Stones. If you didn't see the Rolling Stones without Brian Jones or with Brian Jones, then you really and he's been dead for 40 or 50 years now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. I thought you go absolutely, and I was like, absolutely. Oh man, and then you go not, and I was like, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So the topic today is so Mike, I've been talking to a lot of DJs, as you do as well, whether it's online or on the phone or however we can help DJs. And what I've realized is, one, how lucky I am to live in the South, because our quote unquote season extends very far into the year. Like, I'm still doing weddings this weekend and next. I think I have the 30th off. And then we go into heavy holiday party mode, not nearly as much as pre-recession, but it still happens, as do you guys. And what I've realized is, when I talk to people in Vermont or Minnesota, like I've done today, it's like, they are pretty much done at the end of October. Like it's a wrap. It's freezing cold. Right. Nobody's doing anything until. And
I would say, being a little bit south of them and north of you, we stay busy. Like right now, it's second, third week of November. Mm-hmm. We're starting a little bit to slow down, but like this coming weekend, we're still pretty busy.
16th, we are too.
I personally have two weddings this weekend. And I think we have 20-ish as a company. So, yeah.
We probably have half that. And then it kind of starts we do have the last couple of Saturdays of the 23rd and 30th of November as not super busy. And then what's weird or not great about December of this year, if you notice, it goes 7th. These are the Saturdays, 7, 14, 21, 28. So the 7th and 14th are about the only two weekends that you can really make your money.
Well, it's funny because I have a wedding I have 21st. A holiday party on the 20th and a wedding on the 22nd, actually.
See, but I'm saying corporate-wise, don't you feel like the 20th?
Yeah, the 20th will be the last night.
Right.
That Friday, the 20th. I don't think corporations will. I don't think we have any holiday parties on the 21st.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Do y'all do still any New Year's Eve parties?
Yeah. Weddings for the most part. Okay. No, not open. We haven't done an open to the public New Year's Eve party in a while.
Me neither. Or even like so-and-so's got a large house and they're having a bunch of friends over. Like, I feel
and I think we've also talked about this. I don't pursue New Year's Eve because I have so few DJs that want to work on New Year's Eve.
Valid point.
Makes zero sense to me. I don't understand. I mean, I shouldn't say that. If you've got young kids, I guess you want to stay home to be with them. But I mean, make the money on New Year's
work,
Eve.
Man.
You know what I mean? Like the few New Year's Eves I've been off in my life.
Yeah.
Now, not last year, because if you remember, last year was my mom's 70.
Yeah.
She doesn't want me to say. It was my mom's birthday. And so we were all together. My siblings were all together. It was the first time we were all together. So I'm not counting that. But any other New Year's Eve I've been off recently, it's overrated, man. It's overrated. I'd rather.
I was in bed at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm booked already. I'm booked this year, and I'm also booked already for New Year's Eve.
Weddings,
and I'm psyched. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I've been doing a company party. They actually celebrate New Year's, and then their, employees, small, like 40, 50 people at a small hotel. This will be my third year doing it, and I couldn't be more happy. So
right.
Anyway,
I think it's happier. I don't think it's more
happier.
Happy,
You're right.
Sorry.
He got me. He grammar checked me.
Yeah.
So what I want to talk about today is with this being the end of season for a lot of people listening, even us, where it's kind of tailing out, is what becomes of your to-do list. In other words, what do you do in this kind of off-season, pre-engagement season to get ready for 2020?
Yeah, and before we get into that, I'll also add, December is traditionally one of our slower sales months as well.
Okay.
So besides the fact that, it starts trickling gig-wise, I'm also not as busy Monday through Friday, especially that week before. I mean, the week of Christmas is going to be very slow.
Very.
After Christmas, it'll start picking up a little bit, but it really won't start picking up until that first full week of January. So besides the fact that gigs are trickling down, you should probably find yourself with a little bit more extra room during the week.
I agree. So I guess, Mike, let's start with the marketing end of things. Like, do you guys start to ramp up? For example, do you start to prep for your showcases or your wedding shows? Like, talk to me about
so it's funny because I actually just did that today.
Nice.
I looked at all three. We work with 3 production companies that we do showcases with. So just today I printed out all of their winter shows, and I was trying to figure out strategically which ones do I want to sign up for. The ones that we did last year, I was comparing our results, how many did we book, how many leads did we get, how many did we eventually book. I was starting to, and again, just because this is going to drop in 8 days, this is November 13th that I'm saying that. That's when I spent today, or part of today, strategically looking at our January, February, and March showcase schedule. This is the time of year. If you do bridal shows in the winter, now's the time, if not earlier than this, to start, reserving the shows you want to do.
Same as Mike with us. I spoke to a young lady yesterday about their, and again, we're doing more of the kind of boutique type shows where there's maybe 1, 2 DJs. But what I'm doing is, number one, I'm getting them in DJ Event Planner, and number 2, I'm assigning DJs to them. Unfortunately, there are some that are doing them on the same date, so we kind of have to divide and conquer on those. And then also, what I'm doing is just figuring out what we're taking. Are we taking a screen? What are we going to show on the screen? Are we, do we need to rent a cocktail table with a on-brand color linen? What's going to go on the cocktail table? Can we get a florist to donate a pretty arrangement? And then what are we going to run on the laptop? So I think it's a great time in this quote unquote off season to get ready for, I guess, we would call.
And I don't want to gloss over what I just said too. It's important, if you've done these shows in the past, it's important to evaluate the shows. It's important to look at how many leads did we take, but then more importantly, how many of them closed. Like I didn't sign back up for a show that 2 years, and I went back not just this year, but last year. We took a ton of leads and we hardly closed anything. It didn't, both years, it didn't even pay for itself. It didn't even pay for the effort to be there.
Oh, wow.
So I'm not going to take that show for a 3rd year in a row. It's really not worth it. But also keep in mind, and this is something you and I have talked about, sometimes you take a show just because of the location.
Yep.
If you get nothing else out of a show, being there and schmoozing with those banquet people, especially in January, February, when it's critical to butter up to these banquet people. Sometimes you only take a show because you can get FaceTime with the banquet hall.
Or because it would almost be like an insult or a slap in the face.
Right,
yeah,
right,
like,
right.
we're not going to do that show.
Yeah, we refer Bunn, but they're not here. Like, what is that? So, sometimes even when you evaluate your numbers, that can be a deciding factor.
Absolutely.
And you can't really monetize that.
No, you can't put a dollar figure on that at all.
Right.
Can I ask you a question? Do you guys collect? Let's assume that the bridal show producer is going to give you the lead list, which may be 3, 4, 5 days later. But do you guys still try and collect name, email, event date? I guess.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we not only collect it at the site. If we have good internet service, we plug it right into DJ Event Planner.
Oh wow!
And then send them an email. Like if we're not showcasing, we'll send them an email once the showcases start. And we've had plenty of brides come back up to our booth and say, hey, I've already looked at your email and can we make an appointment? We looked at your pricing.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, we're in the society now is immediate. And if you can take their information and get an email address and get them information before they even leave the show, you're better off. You're
ahead of the ball. What, Mike, how are you collecting it? I mean, literally, like, is it like a clipboard paper type thing or an iPad or?
No, it's an iPad method. Dominic just, he gave us a touch. He had this big touchscreen computer that he was using for the photo booth that he was no longer using anymore. So we bought one of those stands for it.
Sure.
And now we basically just have on that the sign-in page on our website. So, and this way we have the bride do it herself, which is a big advantage because it's so hard sometimes at these shows to hear an email address.
Yeah.
You know, if you're typing it down, was that a B or a C? You know what I mean? So if she can just enter it herself, boom. And basically what we say to them is, look, if you want to sign up here, we'll get you information about availability and pricing. And some brides are like, no, it's okay. But a lot of brides are like, yeah, great, I'll do that.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So literally when they do that sign up thing on that computer, it literally pushes straight to DJ EP.
It goes right into DJ Event Planner. Then we have to put just like it would if somebody signs up on our website.
Yeah, right. Found you Googling.
Make it we have to create an event for it and then send them whatever appropriate email.
Perfect. Okay. So what else, Mike? What else goes on in the off season? Do you do anything with gear?
I think this is a great time for gear. I don't know. You know, it's funny. You and I both got our hands on the Roland 707.
We did.
Have you played with it yet?
I have. Yes, I've played with it in house, not at a gig yet.
Me too.
I don't feel comfortable yet.
Me too. And I feel like this December and January will be my time to do that. So
switch over.
Switch over and get more comfortable with it. And I've got a holiday party that I do, like a kickoff party that I do every year in January that I've kind of have targeted for. That'll probably be the first time I bring it out into the field.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I have it set up. I'm in my basement right now. If you can see, that's it in the corner right there.
Yeah.
And I've spent a couple of hours playing on it, but I'm just not confident enough yet to bring it out.
Same.
And nor do I own a case yet for it. So, I will spend the slower time doing that. And then also other stuff. I mean, this is the time to bring your lights in and clean them up and anything that has been out in the field for the last 9 months.
Turn it around, right.
Exactly. It's time to evaluate it, what needs to be replaced, what needs to be fixed. This is a great time to do that.
Now, speaking of switching over, when I said that, it kind of sparked something else. This is also a great time if you were going to make any, CRM changes. If you're switching from Honeybook to DJ Event Planner, or if you are going to start using the Vibo app, or if you're going to make any business changes or, implementing QuickBooks Online, like this is the time to do it.
I would say the next 5 weeks don't wait until January. If you're going to make a change to your gear in the field, January and February is a good time to do it. If you're making a change to your marketing or CRM or sales, do it now, because you want to be up and running by January 1st. Because I don't know about your market, but that's when sales really kicks in.
Same for us. In fact, Mike, we're having a company currently working on a website, and I told them specifically, I'm like, listen, if it's not going to launch before 1/1/20,
then let's wait till 4/1.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, you can just hold it, and your check will be held accordingly.
Right.
So
hopefully that motivated them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you're only getting a deposit until 4/1. So if you're doing any of that stuff, do it.
Yeah.
What else, Mike?
It's also a great time, and this is more of a January thing, but it's also a great time to do something with your staff. December,
Reach.
I usually don't schedule anything in December because we're all either busy working or busy with our family. But,
Sure.
This goes back to the first DJ company I worked at, Star DJs. We never had a holiday party. We had a kickoff party. They always had something in January, and they called it a kickoff party to kick off the, kind of close out, give some awards for last year, but then
get
everybody motivated. And I've kind of carried that tradition over. If I'm going to do a party for the staff or a dinner for the DJs or something, it's early January when, I can look at the calendar. There are Fridays. I don't think there's any Saturdays in January, but there are Fridays where we don't have one gig booked. So I know I can plan a dinner on a Friday in January.
Yep.
And unless somebody has personal plans, everyone could make it.
Sure.
I would never want to, do a dinner for the staff and yet there's 2 parties going on. So that's 2 DJs who can make it. But yeah, I mean, if you can find a hole like that in your calendar in January, and now's the time to start planning it, I think that's a great way to reward your staff and also get everybody motivated for the year coming forward.
Yeah, we've always done December, but it is always, usually early in the week. So sorry, I'm just sitting here thinking. So I've got the restaurant booked for December 16th, which is a Monday.
Cool.
And I'm sorry, 17th, and got all the guys coming. So all the DJs are coming, my photo booth people. I think
so. What if you get a sales call tomorrow for December?
It has happened. I'm not gonna lie, Mike. It has happened.
You're gonna turn it down?
We did not. Yes, I passed on it, but then I sent it out to the staff and I said, "Listen, this is the same night as our dinner. Not changing the dinner. Does anybody?"
Oh, okay.
And somebody stepped up and they were
Someone's
like,
gonna take it.
Yeah, they were like, "Man, I could use the money for my kids, whatever new bike he wants." And I was like, "Man, we're gonna miss you, but take it."
But thank you.
Yeah, but knock yourself out, right? I made a little money that night, but that's how I did it. But I
think
agree.
I think that's the fear that I have.
That's
which is
the
why
push.
I would always punt it to January.
Yep.
Because I know I could see a hole in the calendar now, but I guarantee as soon as I book it, I'm gonna get a phone call for that night. I don't want to have to make that decision.
And I'll say, agreed, with that one. And then Mike, I would say that this has been probably one of the biggest closing. We always closed out the PHDJ workshop with this. This is a great time to take a break for yourself,
right,
or your wife, or your girlfriend, or your boyfriend, or whatever. It is now, in January or February, especially, no matter where you are, even in North Carolina, it's cold. And if you can pack it up and head, well, Mike's gone to Iceland a couple of times. I guess that goes against my theory of warmth, but I go somewhere warm. I'm big, Mexico, Jamaica, Dominican, and I don't do a damn thing.
Right.
I don't want to parasail. I don't want to hike Mount blah, blah, blah. I want to sit there and drink fruity tropical beverages and sit under an umbrella and wear sunscreen and stare at the ocean.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It's also a great time of year to look at your 2020 calendar now.
Yes.
And decide when, and maybe you should have done this already, because if you're popular enough, you might not have any weekends off, but now is kind of the time, if you haven't done it yet, what vacation are you going to take in 2020? Don't just leave it up to, well, let me just see when I'm not booked and what happens in my calendar.
Yeah.
But I would suggest now, if you haven't done it already, pick and choose and go, okay, this is the time that I can get away.
I couldn't agree more. And I'll end this episode with just speaking about something that we did several years ago. And again, I think that this is a good time to do it. Mike, and I will say this, I bit off more than I can chew, more than I could chew the year that I did this. We sent out an email to way too many hotels and country clubs. And we said, hey, if you guys are having a holiday party, because again, in the hospitality industry, that would always be January and February.
Right.
They would never do it in December. We want to be the DJ, and it's on us. And again, I probably made the list too big. And even people, Mike, that had not planned on having a holiday party were like, all of a sudden we're like,
free DJ. Well,
yeah, free DJ.
Yeah.
Well, we got a free ballroom. We got a free DJ. Might as well have a party.
Right.
And it got a little out of control. My guys weren't super happy. I definitely had to come out of pocket some money to pay some guys.
Right.
I probably did way too many of them myself. But my point is, it is a good tactic, and it got us we asked for nothing in return. We didn't say, hey, we'll do it if you put us on the preferred vendor list.
Right.
It wasn't like that. There were no upsells. There was no special hidden package price, or we'll bring the uplights.
There was no quid pro quo.
No, there was no.
They use the in vogue term nowadays.
There was none of that.
None. Okay.
But it honestly, Mike, solidified us as the go-to company.
So it wasn't. So even though you're saying it maybe was too big of a list, it doesn't sound like it was.
My guys thought the list was too big. I should have trimmed it down. It probably went out to 50 venues. It should have gone to about 20.
I don't blanket the market with that kind of offer, but basically, there are a lot of banquet halls that will call us and say, we're having our staff party. And I mean, I could never quote them a price. I say, look, it's on me. Either. You guys, I mean, if I look back and they've referred us even just a handful of times that year.
That's thousands of dollars.
Yeah, exactly.
That is thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So anyway, a little marketing tip for you guys out there.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, man, anything else? It was really good.
No, I think it's good. Next week is Thanksgiving, Joe, when this lands. So,
wow, you're right.
So next week, our first of all, we'll probably drop it a day early.
Yes.
And it'll be our Thanksgiving. And I believe, if I'm doing my math correct, next week will be episode 150. I think
you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Everybody, thank y'all for listening, and we will see you. I guess the one after this will be the day before Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Ciao, everybody.
Later, brother.